यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज भगवद गीता की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि 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 बोल। Welcome everyone. Tonight's Gita class. We are reading from the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled The Universal Form, and text number 8. Natu Mami, right? Yes. Okay. So please repeat after me in the Sanskrit. Na tu mam sakshase drashtum. Na tu mam sakshase drashtum. Aninaiva svachakshusha. Aninaiva svachakshusha. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. Pashyame yogamaishwaram. Pashyame yogamaishwaram. Na tumam shakshyase drashtum. Aninaiva svachakshusha. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. Pashyame Yogamaishwaram. Chant. Na tumam shakshyase drashtum. Please try chant Sanskrit. Anybody likes to try? Okay. Na, never. Tu, but. Mam, me. Shakyase, are able. Drashtum, to see. Anena, with these. Eva, certainly. Swachakshusha, your own eyes. Divyam, divine. Dadami, I give. Te, to you. Chakshuhu, eyes. Pasha, see. Me, my. Yogamaishwaram, inconceivable mystic power. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjun is told not to change his mind, but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in the subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjun wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami recites this verse. Ittham satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya sritanam dhannaradharakena sakam vijarghu krita punya punjah. Here is the Supreme Personality, Supreme Person, who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary man. Now, these boys who have performed many, many pious activities in their past lives are playing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 12, verse number 11. The fact that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa, the universal form, the fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa, the universal form, but Arjun wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statements so that in the future people could understand that Krishna is not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Krishna, or to Arjun. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjun is the beginning of the parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and who follow in the footsteps of Arjun should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. The Lord gave Arjun the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjun did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham mande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam. Natumam shakshase drashtum aneneva sachakshusha divyam dadamite chakshuhu pashyame yogam aishwaram. But you cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. When one hears about Krishna on the battle of Kurukshetra, showing the Virata Rupa, the Vishwarupa, people are awestruck. Ah, look, that is God. That must be supreme. Enamored by power and gigantic forces. Like when they see earthquakes or volcano eruptions, yeah, that must be God's power. Yes, it's true, it's God's power. Actually, the whole universe, it's God's body, it's Krishna's body, right? It's universal form. There have been some groups of people saying there is no uh, worship of Murti in Vedas because you know Bhagavan or Ishvara cannot have any form. But Vishwarup means universal form, right? And in all the four Vedas, the Vishwarupa is mentioned in the Purusha Sukta. It means Purusha Sukta means beautiful prayers to the Supreme Purusha. So if you say Purusha, it already means person. Person means form, right? So there are always people who have not properly studied the Vedas or have some alternative motives in understanding and trying to construe some meaning out of this in order to get their motives fulfilled or get their thing done, But the fact is here that Krishna is showing this to Arjuna. Now, seen from the level of consciousness, one can understand why a devotee is not so interested in this Vishwarupa. So there are four levels of consciousness which you are experiencing daily. At the moment you are sitting in the class here and you're experiencing Jagran, the state of consciousness of wakeness. And in that wake state, you can see the external objects, gross matter, you can see the chandelier, you can see the floor, you can see your bodies, you can see my body, you can hear my voice. This is all experiencing the impressions of the Jagran state, the state of wakeness. Now, when you go to sleep, you forget about this world. You forget about your body. You forget about the impressions you see during awake state, during Jagran. You are in Swapna. Swapna means dreaming. And in dreaming, there is no awareness of this gross body. That means that even if the gross body is gone, like you have forgotten it, still you're not dead. Because in dreaming, you still dream, you're still active in the mind. That means you're not the body. It's very simple. You're not the body, you can even live without the body. Now, in dream state, the mind is very active. And it is an amazing state because sometimes dreams, they are predicting the future. Sometimes in dreams, you can experience things from your past lives. Sometimes in dreams, you can experience of things which happened in the past in this life. And also in dreams, sometimes you can experience traumas which happened when you were awake. It happened to you. So then in dreams, they are impressed. All these things are in the mind. The state of dream consists out of three sutras, which is intelligence, buddhi, mind, emotions, and also ego, identification of who am I. So in Jagaran, that ego, in wakeness, that ego was, I am this gross body. But when you went to a sleep, that ego dissolved in something else. Your identifying is, I am the mind, right? So then you live in your mental body. And whether the gross body is alive or not alive, it doesn't really matter to you. Whether this world is existing or not existing doesn't matter to you. This world is called samsara, and the sages have already seen you can live without samsara also. And the example is every night you are experiencing dream without this samsara. You can experience this samsara also in your dreams. So there's a third state of consciousness, which is deep sleep, sushupti. When you go in deep sleep, then you don't see any dreams, but you know that you're awake, that you are alive, that you're not dead. Generally, you don't experience anything. Generally, there is some darkness or some blackness, but there is intense bliss and satisfaction and satiation in there. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you don't taste anything, but you feel intense bliss. That bliss of being peacefully resting comes from the lap of Mahavishnu. According to Vedanta Sutras, the jiva goes to the lap of Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu is residing on the border between the spiritual world and this material world. Right? The border is called the Viraja River or the Bhavasagar or the causal ocean. And the jiva has to go every night to his lap to become recharged. And the Lord is, Krishna is showing, Vishnu is showing in this way that, listen, my dear jiva, if you feel so much bliss and peace just being on my lap, how much peace and bliss would you feel if you open your eyes and see me so that we can embrace each other? But what do? We don't want that. We want to remain asleep. Then we glide down from Vishnu's lap and go back into the material world in Jagaran level. This is our debauchiness every night we do. So there is a fourth state of consciousness, which is called Turiya, the fourth level, is that when you awaken on the lap of Mahavishnu and you beg him to make you cross the Bhavasagar, the ocean of the Viraja river, then you enter into another dimension where there is no time. There is no time, there is no creation, there is no maintenance, there is no destruction. Everything is eternal there. And in that place, you actually belong. You came from that space. It starts with Brahman, light, godly light. But if you travel further in that light, you'll find there are planets. And when you travel further, you land on those planets, you see, hey, there are forms made of Brahman. Brahman is not simply light, it has also have forms. And among all these planets, if you go even deeper and deeper, you find the planet looks like a lotus. And that planet is Goloka Vrindavan, where Krishna always resides. But guess what? You don't have to go into a Sputnik or into a spaceship to go there. And that is yoga. Our rishis, our munis, our ancestors have had this experience in order to travel to other planets. The best way is by elevating consciousness. You don't have to dig up the earth, melt it down into aluminum, and make spacecraft with aluminum and steel, and then distill so much water into hydrogen and oxygen, and then ignite, and you go up, and then it blasts. That's not the way to go. That's the primitive way. The actual way is you elevate your consciousness, and then you get access to those dimensions. But like we've seen in yesterday's verse, O Arjun, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. The universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. Past, present, and future are all in one place. And whatever you want to see is in one place. You don't have to travel any distance. You just travel in consciousness. And there's no time. Time is space, space is time, as we have learned. So then you're free from the influence of space and then time. And you can enter in there. But the condition is that you elevate your consciousness. So now, these consciousness levels we always experience at night. When you go to sleep, we glide. Generally, this awakeness dissolves and you go into dream. And also sometimes dreams dissolves and you go into deeper sleep. And in the morning, then you wake up and you think, hey, I had a night rest, but I didn't have any dreams. You cannot, when you are in deep sleep, the mind is not active, it's shut off. So if the mind is not active, then only the Atma remains. So in deep sleep, your consciousness experiencing the Atmic level. But it's in a sleeping state of Atma, not awake state of Atma. Therefore, when we say, Jiva jago, Gora chanda bole, Koto nidra jao maya, Pishachira kole, Bhajibo boliya eshe, Sansara bhitare, Bhuliya rohile tumi, Avidyara bhare. Mahaprabhu, when he says that, Jiva Jago, he means Jiva wake up. He doesn't say body wake up or mind wake up. He says Jiva, the Atma has to wake up. Because he's calling you from your deep sleep to awaken, not in this body, but awaken in your spiritual body beyond that river. That means Jiva Jago. And for that, you need to do sadhana. It's not easy to just go there. And therefore, he came with the mantra. Harinam Maha Mantra Lao Tumi Magi Eniche Aushadhi Maya Nashibaro Lagi. There is a beautiful line. Amar bina bandhu aro ke ache tomara tomare loite ami huinu avatara ami bina bandhu aro ke ache tomara. This is directly Krishna calling you. This is directly Paramatma calling you. Tumare loite ami, just because of you, because of your sake, to save you, Luinu avatar, that I descend in this world. I came for you. Ami bina bandhuar ke ache tomar. What greater friend than me is there for you in this world? Therefore, Jiv Jago, Gora Chanda Bole. He's saying that, please wake up. I came to give you that, what you have forgotten. You're sleeping and sleeping and sleeping, and you're not able to awaken. Now, guess, if you start chanting Hare Krishna, then we go to different stages of also. See, there is only one path. Everyone is awake or dreaming or deep sleep or in the fourth level. There are four stages. Now you can divide them in sub-stages in order to analyze them, right? And I'm going to do that. The acharyas have analyzed these stages in 9 levels of bhakti yoga, bhakti yogic levels. When one comes to the movement and he comes to a Sunday feast, oh, they have nice prasad. And when he hears the kirtan, oh, they have nice music also. Great. One is generally not interested in hearing the philosophy. We find that the people, they come for prasad and they for kirtan and then they leave. They're not interested in hearing Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. But gradually, as one becomes purified by eating prasad, he said, let me sit in a class. Oh, they have good philosophy also. Oh, that is nice. So they have a good sense gratification, good prasad, good kirtan, and also good philosophy. Let me stay for some time. And then he develops shraddha. Yes, maybe I should also take up this process. You hear in class that Mahaprabhu came to save you and he's embracing you, wants to have you. Okay, let me try. We have still some, we are still a little bit apprehensive, but we try. Let us see. And then, okay, we come and we start associating. In the morning, we come for Mangalarti. And we said during Bhagavatam class, take prasad with the devotees and say, Prabhuji, do you have some seva for me? And you spend one day in a mandir, whole day you spend in a mandir. And you liked it. That's nice. So it increases. You get more faith and you decide, let me stay for the next holidays. I will stay in a mandir. I'll not go to the beach, or not go to India, or not go to Turkey to go to beach, or Canarian Islands. I will try to serve in Krishna. So this way your faith in Krishna is growing, your Shraddha is growing. So Adav Shraddha. And when you have come to such a level of consciousness that you think, if he has come, if he took avatar for my sake, why shouldn't I offer my life to him? See what happens. So when that state comes, then you hear from a Vaishnava about the philosophy and you associate with them, sadhu sangha. Then as your faith increases, then you take bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya means you take diksha. And you decide, okay, I will, for the boys, then they shave up, wear shikha, wear dhoti and kurta, wear tilak and kanchimala. Let me do. So now you can say these are externals, has nothing to do with spiritual development. It has to do with spiritual development. Why is it that, not all the, so to say, Indians dare to wear dhoti in the city? But in South India, if you go, all 80% of all men, they still wear dhoti and tilak. It's very common, right? But in North India, no, they have something strange. It's nothing strange. The reason why you wear this, if you identify yourself as something, it can help you purify you, right? So you identify with Vaishnava dress. When people see you, they see you, oh, he's a sadhu, he's a Vaishnava. He's Vaishnava tilak. Oh, he must be from the temple. So then you are identified as a member of the temple and it helps you to stay in the proper consciousness. Therefore, Vaishnava dress, sari, tilak, Prabhupada introduced all that. It is necessary to keep your consciousness okay. And the same person, if he wears a jeans or a jacket and he goes to the market, people don't recognize him as a sadhu. And he also feels like, okay, it is another state of consciousness. There is no, there is no attentiveness of behaving like a Vaishnava once you take off this cloth. Whatever way you behave, nobody will criticize you. But if you wear this dress, then you are forced to behave in a certain way which befits this dress, because the dress has some kind of etiquette, some kind of respect it has. So when one takes initiation, one also takes these symbols. Vaishnava Chinhas. Now, what you have done now, you have given up the gross world. You have given up the material world and have entered in the temple. So this is the first state of Jagran, the state of wakeness. You have given up the wakeness in this material world. See? Now what happens to wakeness? It starts to change. Your consciousness in the material world will change. So that is how Jagran starts to change, because you have given it up. You gave up the karma, the enjoyment in the material world. This is the karmic level. Those who are in the material world and enjoying from the material world by earning money and spending or whatever way they want to enjoy the senses, that's karma level. Now you have given karma up. That means karma sannyas. Okay, then when you have taken initiation, then in the beginning it's, oh, how nice, I'm freed from all these problems from the material world. But gradually you realize the mind is still going there. You have given up physically all those problems, but the mind is still going to those attachments and attractions. You see? The mind is not willing to stay in the temple. It also goes sometimes outside, to the fish stand where you used to buy your fish and eat it in front of everyone, like the Dutch do. The haring, the mind might still go there, and you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. No. The first thing was you gave up the gross. That was pretty easy. There were some problems were there. Sometimes you thought, maybe I should just silently drink some coffee or silently eat some chocolate bar. Nobody sees it anyway. So you gradually that gave up. No more taste for those things. You lose taste. And then one day you wonder, how could I be ever desiring to eat that stuff, a rotten fish, smoked fish. Eyes are still in there, tail is still in there, the lips are still in there. And I used to think that's food. It's like that. You have become purified. Your consciousness has increased. But now there is a war starting, a war in the mind. There are many things which the mind doesn't want to do, and you try to tell the mind, please listen to me. Manaha Siksha. So this is the second level you try to conquer, this level of swapna, the subtle level of the mind. And as you chant, you see, when you're not chanting and you're doing physical seva, you generally don't feel the problem. As soon as you sit down and chant Gayatri or chant Hare Krishna, then these things which you suppressed, they will come, try to allure you. So there are different anarthas which come in bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya doing bhajan is meant for conquering the problems in the mind. And the mind has different states of problems it creates, due to which your bhajan is unstable. That means you're doing bhajan, but sometimes you feel bliss, and sometimes you don't feel so much bliss. What is the reason for that? So the acharyas have described that. One reason is taranga rangini. When you start, you have sadhu bhesh, sadhu dress, and you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You're just doing for your own self. But people start to praise you. Oh, you do so nice bhajan. Such a nice devotee. And bring him the Mahaprasad, but give him the garland. I say, I'm great. Look, I'm getting garland, I'm getting Mahaprasad. And people touching my feet. You start to enjoy all of that. It's called Taranga Rangini. The tarangas, the side effects of your bhajan, you start to enjoy that. You can become bound again because it increases your ego on the Jagran level, the gross level. So that's one thing. Then you have Niyamakshama. So Niyamakshama comes that you cannot follow the rules of Bhakti Yoga. Okay? Generally, we follow 4 regulative principles. No illicit relationships with women, no gambling, any type of gambling, or no casino, stuff like that, lottery, no. No gambling, no intoxication, and no meat eating. So any type of intoxication. Different types of foods have different kinds of intoxicant effects, but it will block your consciousness from going into deeper levels, and therefore we avoid that, like coffee, tea, cigarettes, and stuff like that. And you have, of course, meat you only can get by violence. Nobody can say that, this is ahimsa meat. It doesn't exist. So like that, to avoid all that, then that is properly following the rules of Bhakti Yoga in the beginning. But in the beginning, still the heart might go to that, keep it, simple, to the flesh, or to the meat, or to the fish, or to those eggs. But gradually, no. And when the mind goes there, or you're not able to follow, sometimes you're addicted to coffee, and say, okay, one coffee will drink once a month. Uh, you can allow. There was one person who he couldn't stay away from smoking. So Prabhupada said something like, you only smoke 2 cigarettes a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. So then he would regulate himself and follow. And then as soon as the time comes, and he was like, how can I? And then would up his, But then he would have to wait for the next cigarette till evening. And gradually, his heart started telling, what is the use? And he gave it up, completely smoking. So in this way, there is an in-between stage where the mind is fighting that, no, I need my sense gratification, I need this, I need that. And sometimes you succumb, and other times you can conquer. So that's called niyamakshama. You have so many strong desires still, which are not purified, that you're not able to follow the rules of Bhakti Yoga. And therefore it comes Vishaya Sangraha. Sangraha means to push and pull. The senses are pushing you outward, and you say, no, I will not do it. And you pull yourself inward, and then again outward, inward. And we find that, like bonbons, Deutsche Pralinen, and, with a whole hazelnuts and white chocolate, these are really, really violent sense pullers, Once you eat white chocolate made in Germany, you're sold. You won't stop until it's finished. And then you wonder, what did I do? Where did all the sugar go? Look, my stomach is increasing in size, because of chocolate. So this is Vishaya Sangra, and not being able to stay away from white praline and Vishaya Sangra. Pralines are pushing you, pulling you, and you pull. No. I'm going to control my senses. Or maybe should start tomorrow. Not today. Tomorrow I'll start. Today, start eating. Vishaya Sangra, struggling, fighting with the senses. And therefore, Vyudha Vikalpa. You make vows, I will not do this anymore, I will not do that anymore. And it's all useless, because you still do, because of the strong material desires. And then there is Ghana Tarala. Your sadhana, your practice is sometimes very good, Ghana, and sometimes Tarala, very, very out of balance, Ghana Tarala. But in the beginning, you can have some bliss. That's also there. It's not that completely. When you do bhajana kriya, you're just initiated. There's something called utsahamai. When a boy goes to school first time, then he learns the alphabet. And he thinks, I know everything now. I have learned the first letter of the alphabet. I'm growing. I'm great. And he goes home and he says, Ma, I know how to write. Look. Great, my son. You know how to write, huh? Yes. He doesn't know anything more than that. He only The next day, B. Yes, I know the next letter, B, C. But he's very enthusiastic because he's growing, he's learning something. He's very utsaha, very much great. It's a festive for him to learn. It's called utsahamai. In the beginning also, the mystical effects of chanting, Hare Krishna, beads, finger work, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. You might think, maybe if I chant properly, there will be some coming between the beads, just like Ali Baba and the Wonder Lamp. Something magical will happen, and then poof, I might have 4 arms, or I might fly in the sky. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Well, there's so many kinds of ideas what can attain by chanting Hare Krishna. It says Hare Krishna fulfills all desires. Oh, let me try Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare, like that. So these are all reasons for chanting one has, but the problem comes when you fight. You have to fight with the mind. The mind wants you to still do some sense gratification in the outside world, but you don't want it. So then these are anarthas. These things are there which can actually blockages in your progress, in your consciousness, in devotional life. So But by continuous chanting, Chetodarapanamaраjanam Bhavamahadavagani nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vicharanam Vidyavadhu Jivanam. The holy name Krishna has given. Tomare loite ami hoinu avatara. He came with the Aushadhi. Eneche Aushadhi Maya Nashi Baro Lagi Harinam Maha Mantro Lao Tumi Magi. I brought the cure for your disease. Harinam Sankirtan. Harinam Maha Mantro Lao Tumi Magi. So I think every one of you who are sitting here in this class have had this experience that before chanting you were something different, and after chanting you have turned into something different. Right? Are you chanting? You're chanting, right? Mantra. Hare Krishna mantra or some other mantra? Hare Krishna mantra. So you notice the difference? You can control yourself more easily, you can give up things more easily, and you can live a more sincere life and be more open towards yourself and honest towards yourself. All these things you have already attained. So these are the results of doing bhajana kriya. Then you conquer the anarthas. So there is anishita bhajana kriya, and this is then entering in the swapna realm, from jagaran to swapna, from wake to sleep. In the sleep realm, there are so many, because there are three bodies in there. The gross body, you know about this, the flesh, bones, like that. And this is the external world. It's only one body to conquer. It's easy. You can give it up and you join the mandir. But when you try to conquer the swapna realm, there is mind, there is intelligence, and there is ego. And if they all three are pointing towards the external world, then you have to conquer three bodies, three levels of consciousness. And that is difficult because the mind deals with sense gratification. What is nice for the senses, he accepts. What is not nice for the senses, he rejects. And even if it's Harinam, he will reject it because it's not pleasing. That's the mind. But fortunately, there is also intelligence. Intelligence directs the mind, but intelligence can also be used for making all kinds of inventions and getting a big name in the material world. I want to be Mr. Such and Such and be respected in the world, and I find some strategy how to become a great person, though I'm a rascal number one. This is happening all over the world, right? That insincere people can have big positions in this world because we are not able to see deep inside the heart of somebody where he is at. We have lost that contact. So this is then how you can misuse the intelligence also. Mind is easy, everyone knows mind. And then the ego. Ego is forcing you to think, no, you're not Atma, you're this body. Who has seen the Atma? Huh? All these people talking about Atma, who has seen the Atma? Nobody has seen the Atma, it doesn't exist. Just be your body, remain your body. Work hard and pay tax and die. That's the goal. And that's the essence of life. And it's really like that. If you don't have an experience of Atma, then you think, what is this Atma? You say Atma, Atma, Atma. Yes, but how is it something you can eat? Is it something you feel? Is it something you can sell? What is Atma? Right? So you need some realization to hook onto, a handle onto. So there's a second stage. And there are anarthas which pop up in this stage of swapna, equal with the subtle realm, which we have to conquer. And when we are able to conquer the anarthas, and the anarthas are described by the acharyas as follows: Guru Avagya, not following Guru's orders; Vaishnava Ninda, criticizing those devotees who have dedicated their lives to the propagation of the holy name; Sadhu Ninda, criticizing generally sadhus; misunderstanding the position of Shiva, Vishnu, the Devatas; and Shruti Shastra Ninda. I don't believe in the Vedas. Like that. Shruti Shastra Ninda. Namno Balad Yasihi Papa Buddhi. Thinking, I can go on sinning and chant Hare Krishna, I'll be freed. So let me sin and chant at the same time so that my balance remains zero. That's also an offense. Abhinivesha, which means mundane engrossment. One still very much likes to look at Netflix and this and that and chant Hare Krishna at the same time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Being engrossed in there and also trying to chant doesn't work. Right? Like that. Then you have Dvesha, envy, Raga, material attachments, and asmita, bitterness, anger, false ego, and avidya, nescience. These are all anarthas which are born out of lust, anger, greed, illusion, etc. So now when you take birth, you get it as a present and you cannot get rid of it. When you take birth in this human body, then kama, lust, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, mada, madness, matsarya, envy, they are automatically given. The body contains all of these elements basically. You can't give it up. But the effects of that you can overcome, and that is called anartha nivriti. So when you reach anartha nivriti, you have conquered the swapna realm. Now you can enter into deep sleep realm, right? And that is then nishtha, when you're fixed in your determination. Then actually you can say, I've entered the realm where I can be Atma conscious, nishtha. It equals with liberation, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, deeper level of consciousness. But it's only the beginning. When you go in deep sleep, right, then you forget your subtle body, the mind, and you forget your gross body, the physical body. So only Atma remains. But just entering there is not enough. Also, that dimension contains many, many levels. When you chant and you forget your body, you forget your mind, then only can you enter into a state of ruchi. Ruchi is intense taste for the holy name. You cannot have any ruchi if you are, thinking of your dreams, thinking of your plans. You're still on the mental level, on the swapna level. Then you don't taste any ruchi because your mind is still in a lower level. But when you give all of that up and you just dedicate to the chanting only, then you will see that swapna starts to turn into a jagran state called pragya. It was susupti, you were unconscious, you couldn't do anything. But now all of a sudden you notice, hey, there is a deeper level of consciousness even beyond the mind. Now I can't do anything with it because I'm in deep sleep. But when you chant, some things start to dawn on you, right? It's like this. Sometimes you see a person you never met before in this life, but something is telling you, I know him. Some deep call from some ancient time is telling you, you know him. Neither have you met him physically in this life, so there is no jagran connection, no physical connection, no wakeness connection. Neither do you know what your relationship was. Or sometimes you cannot even visualize. You hear just the name and I know him. I just cannot visualize him. That means both Jagran and Swapna are inactive. You cannot neither be aware of him physically, neither have you seen him mentally. But you still feel some connection. So what kind of level of consciousness is that? It is not Jagran, it is not Swapna, it is not wake, it is not dream. There's some other consciousness active here. The third level is there. And the third level is very nice because it doesn't require any dimension or any space or any distance. There is an eternal connection. Just like between mother and child. Mother might not be able to see the child. Child is maybe in America, and the mother is sitting here in Köln. But she can feel something that's happening to her child. She can't see it. Physically, she can't see it. She's not with the child, so there's no physical contact there. But she can feel something. What is this? She's not seeing it, she's not smelling it, but she feels what the child is going on. And she might call the boy. She might make a swapna, a subtle contact. Are you okay? Do you feel hungry? Are you eating enough? Did you hurt your leg? And for example, I had my sister once, when I was a young boy, I liked to bike a lot. I had a race bike I had. And there are two towns in Holland, Enschede and Hengelo. And it's about 20 kilometers distance from each other. So I had my race bike and I was going by bike to that other town. And, I don't know if you know about racing bikes, but on the pedals, there are like a system to hook your shoe with, so that even when you lift your leg, like when you bike, even if you lift your leg, there is some force that it pushes you further. And then when you press, it goes down like that. So therefore that system is given, that your shoe remains tight. So now generally in Holland, at every traffic light, there is this little pole where you can hang on to. You don't have to put your feet on the ground. You can still sit on your bike. So I was biking, and one of the traffic lights came. Hey, there was nothing to hang on to. And I could not get my foot out of this. It's called two-clip. the clip. I couldn't. So I fell from my bike. And because there is so much, the little stones, you have this gravel, yeah. It went into my flesh and into my bone. I was bleeding there because I fell. Anyway, there was nothing else to do. So then I picked up myself and I drove further to the next town. And as soon as I came to my sister's place, she said, "Is everything okay with you? How is your ankle?" I said, "How do you know this?" She already felt 20 kilometers before away that something had happened with my ankle. And then she took some bandage and, like that. So how is this? There's no physical seeing. There's no mental contact here, right? There's no like, I didn't put some message to her like, "My dear sister, I have this." No, she could sense something. She couldn't visualize it, but she felt something. And that feeling is a better and a more powerful tool than any Bluetooth or internet connection, right? It can go from planet to planet. It can go from here to Golok, feeling. When you are when you are falling in dreams, then this physical world dissolves. Karma, this is the world of karma, it dissolves. When you go in deep sleep, the world of dreaming dissolves, the world of jnana, right? People who plan many things and a lot of knowledge. All this knowledge of an IT, all this technology is only in the swapna realm. But there where jnana ends, only feeling remains. In deep sleep, only there is feeling. And that's bhakti. See? So if you want to go further than jnana, then you have to have bhakti. Now this bhakti in the beginning is not fully ripened. But after jnana comes meditation, full concentration, being not aware of the gross dimension, means the physical dimension, and not aware of the mental dimension, means you are in samadhi. That's what's called samadhi. Fully focused in internal consciousness. Nothing to do with the mind, nothing to do with the body. Only the Atma is there. In a state of consciousness, it only awakens if you meditate. And we do certain kinds of meditation. We have Gayatri meditation, we have Hare Krishna meditation. And that's supposed to open up that dimension. That as you're in deep sleep, now you open your eyes. You're not in deep sleep anymore. And when you open your eyes in a dimension, you have full understanding of everything. Literally everything. In Pragya, it's called Pragya. Prakrishta Rupena Gya. You can know everything, what exists. Your past lives, future lives, how many lives you had in this material world, or what others you can also have. Indians like these kind of sadhus. Because they go to Baba, can you see what's my problem? Please bless me. He went to the doctor first. The doctor said, well, to do that operation, it will require you 2 lakhs. Very expensive. Hey, there's a Baba around, very powerful Baba. Maybe he can cure us for 200 rupees. Spare the 2 lakh, go to the Baba. Baba, please give a blessing that my organ will be good. And Baba blesses. And yes, thank you, Baba. Give him 200. If they don't give 2 lakhs, we give 200 to the Baba. The doctor, you give 2 lakhs, but the Baba gave 200 rupees. Cheaper. Babas are cheap. Anyway, I decided to do it there. But, to try to understand how much sadhana, how much practice he did, this Baba, to reach that stage where he became powerful in consciousness, that he could ask the Lord to heal you. You see, that should be respected. So that Sushupti awakening feels like when it awakens, when Pragya awakens for us, it means you get intense taste for the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. There is no botheration of the body, there's no botheration of the mind. And you basically liberated from all these botherations. That means mukti. Then what happens? You get ruchi. Ruchi becomes like, the holy name tastes like sugar. It starts dancing on your tongue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And tears starts to come from your eyes. And also saliva. And people think he's gone mad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. He feels intense connection. Intense connection. It might not be that he sees anything, but the intense connection is there of bliss. See, because that's deep sleep level, right? Now it starts to awaken. First in feeling. And that's feeling. And then after ruchi comes asakti. Intense attachment starts. First there was taste, and now you become very much attached to that taste. You don't want to give it up anymore. What is 16 rounds? Nothing. 64? Nothing. When the sun rises, you're chanting. When the sun sets, you're chanting. Because it's so tremendously blissful. You can't give it up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Who cares for food? Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Ram. You're feeling bliss in every cell, in every nerve, you feel bliss. Asakti. You become very much attached to Krishna as a person. And then glimpses come. When that starts, the acharyas have explained, you start reaching you start crossing the border of the material world, the causal ocean. You start entering Krishna's realm. For us, there is no Brahmajyoti problem. There is no Vaikuntha. For us, it's directly Goloka, which is the highest Vaikuntha. And your relationship starts to become awakened. And when that happens, then Krishna will send one of his associates to you. It could be a gopi or a gopa. It could be an elderly person. And you will see him in visions or in dreams or whatever it is. And he will make contact with you, because they can see this person has such kind of affection for Krishna. He likes to have Krishna as a child. Oh, then he belongs to the group of the elderly gopis. So let us train him into that seva. Or he is a cowherd boy. He likes to serve Krishna and also take care of the cows. Okay, then Krishna might send an associate like Sridama, the elder brother of Shrimati Radharani, and you belong to that group, so he'll teach you how to be a cowherd boy. And just by chanting, all these things manifest. Now you are in Raganuga level. You follow the Raga of the Brajavasis. And you follow, that means Anuga, Raga, Anuga, Bhakti. And that manifests gradually that you, after Asakti, then you have already passed the causal ocean, and then Bhava manifests. When Bhava manifests, you start to see your spiritual form. Right? And there is Anishtita Bhava, Anishtita Bhava, Asthaya and Asthaya Bhava, sorry. Sthaya and Asthaya Bhava. So Asthaya Bhava, sometimes you forget about your spiritual form. Therefore, you have to keep a regular sadhana to remember who you are, your actual identity. And then it turns into Sthaya Bhava. Fixed always in your spiritual form. And then you're ready to go back to Godhead. That's basically it. You just wait till the body is falling by its natural finishing of karma. And it might happen like this, that one day Krishna came and you embraced him, he embraced you, and you went with him. And when you look back, you saw your body lying there dead, and people crying or burning your body, and you didn't care anything. This has happened to Meera. Meera entered in the last stage in her life, and she had a tanpura, or ektara actually, a stick with a calabash on it, with a string, and she used to play on that. करना फकीर फिर क्या दिलगिरी सदा मगन में रहना जी कोई दिन हाथी ना कोई दिन घोड़ा कोई दिन जंगल बसना जी. She said, why should I become worried about good facilities or food? Sometimes I'm on the road, sometimes I have to sleep in the forest, sometimes I get a good cushion and a mattress, and sometimes I have to eat something simple, sometimes I can eat a feast. Why should I worry? She used to meditate like this. And when she became old, Meera became at the age of 48, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They left the world very early, even before 50. So the last thing what happened to her, she went to Dwarka because there was a call for Meera to go to Dwarka, and from Dwarka go to Golok again. Not that she belongs to Dwarka, but she had a desire to be Krishna's queen also, experience that. So the time came, and she went in front of Ranachorji, which is the deity there in Dwarka, Ranachod, and she sang her last pada. Milon bichudan mat jije ho, milon bichudan mat dije. After meeting each other, let us not be any separation anymore. And she took an ektar, tanpura, and gave it to her dasi. She asked the priest, can I enter the mandir, the temple where Dwarkanath is? He said, yes. So Meera entered, and automatically the doors closed. So what Meera saw was the deity disappeared, dissolved, and Dwarkanath Krishna embraced her and took her in her arms, and she dissolved, was finished. Then when the doors opened, nobody saw Meera anymore. Where is she? They only saw her veil. She used to carry, just like cover her head with the veil. That the veil was on Dwarka, on Ranachorji. So they thought, oh, she merged with the deity. So there was no merging in the deity. She entered Nitya Dwarka. So that is then that the body remains behind. That is the higher stage, which comes after bhava, your eternal form. You can enter in there. So this is how, in our chanting, we can experience these levels. Every night you're trained by Krishna now to understand, listen, there are so many stages of consciousness. And now when you chant, you can also experience that. You just have to be very steady in your consciousness. Don't look here and there so much. Chant with focused consciousness and go deeper and deeper in your consciousness. And then you'll see this world is very ephemeral. There is not so many, there's not much to do here. The inside journey is much more interesting. What if you can see your 1,000 lives, how you lived, where you lived, right? In one time you were a king, in another life you were a beggar, in another life you were a scientist. So in this life you will never be able to experience all of that in one life. But if you enter deeper levels of consciousness, you can reawaken those experiences, and then you have wisdom of 3 or 4 lives, right? Not only one life. So in this way, these deeper levels, they help you a lot in your self-realization. And then at the end, you will understand there is no more, nothing to be seen, and nothing to be searched for in this material world anymore. Completely satiated, satisfied, and go back to Godhead. So thank you for hearing. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Krishna Prabhu, you explained us all the stages when we chant and how we can just pass this material world. But when we hear, according to me, I feel it. When I hear you, I become so interested, and I'm just back of the mind thinking I will tomorrow wake up at 3 o'clock and I will chant. But the moment I go to home and then engage with the people who are around me, as example, my husband, children, and everyone, and suddenly I forget everything and I lose every information which you give me. Then how can we be so consistent with this?
Okay, you go to YouTube, you download the class and put it on an MP3, no film, just the class. You hear it again, make notes, and put it on your bed, on your cushion, that you don't forget. Do like that. I've given several times such kind of classes. Each time I give some other angle, something more, so that devotees understand, hey, I can do that. It's a handle I'm giving to devotees because, the problem actually is that Sanskrit language. The difficulty of the Gita is the Sanskrit language. And there have been many translations, Prabhupada translated in one way. And even if after hearing Prabhupada's words, you don't understand, then there is no other way to understand anymore left, because we only read Prabhupada's books. So I started thinking, okay, times are changing, fashions change, people also tend to use different vocabularies. Some things didn't even exist in the past, like www. Phones didn't exist. So let me present the philosophy in another other vocabulary. And the effect is, all of a sudden you understand, and you don't need the Sanskrit even. So the difficulty, the knots of Sanskrit, they become dissolved by presenting it in this way. And all of a sudden, the Gita becomes very interesting. It becomes interesting. Like pragya is used directly in the Gita. In the 2nd chapter, verse number 54, Arjuna says, Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthitathir kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. O Keshava, one whose consciousness is situated in pragya, means in deep sleep level, without any awareness of the gross and the subtle body. Ka bhasha, what is his language? Samadhisthasya keshava. He even says samadhi, that word is even used there in relation to pragya. When he is in samadhi, samadhisthasya keshava, kim asita, how does he sit? Vrajeta kim, how does he walk? What is the behavior of a person who is living on the atmic level? Is it like you can only be there and not be aware of this material world anymore? That people call you a madman? You're living in another consciousness? It is not like that. And Krishna explains from that verse onwards, 255 to 56, what the symptoms are of a person who's not conscious of his body or of the mind, but conscious of the Atman. How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he talk? And it becomes very interesting in the Gita all of a sudden, because now you understood. But up to now, you understood maybe what pragya is, but it was not really practical. I took you and showed you, listen, every night you're experiencing swapna. Every night you're experiencing sushupti. That is your pragya. And you just have to waken up, and only one step you have to do to go into that turiya, right? So now you try. You can analyze yourself, how you're experiencing those levels, and mentally you can go there. Why mentally you can go there? You say, oh, it's just concoction. No, it's not fully concoction. The thing is, in the body is the mind, and in the mind is the Atma. You can't, yes, you can also say the Atma is in the body, but when the body dissolves and it is burnt, then the Atma remains, go to the next body. But in that Atma, then in that mind is the Atma. When the body dies, there is mind. And that mind goes to the next incarnation. That means the Atma is not bound by the gross body, but is more bound by the mind, you see. So by the mind, you can lead the Atma, you see. And it's even mentioned like that. What it means dream, when you sleep at night and you're dreaming, it is described in the Bhagavatam, your Atma leaves your body and there is a cord connection. And then the Atma can go anywhere, meet Brahma, whatever, how much your capacity is. And then when the time is to return, he can go back. You see? When he goes in deep sleep, he doesn't go into the 14 planetary systems. He goes to Mahavishnu, through the Nadi, where Mahavishnu is connecting. And there he feels the level of deep sleep. But that was the level you entered the material world when, because everyone enters the material world through the third eye of Mahavishnu. The third eye glance is called the Jyotirlingam, the original Shiva. And he's the father of all the jivas, and in this way you enter the material world. So also the way back is in the same way. Now, there is a whole cosmology described in the Bhagavatam about this. 5, 6 chapters, first, second canto, third canto deals with this, about how the creation started. And, when you meditate on it, there are many, many practical guides for you. How to cross the Virija river, how you came into this world. It all becomes clear. So if you know the way how you came in, you should also know the way how to go out, right? And that's the way you analyze your states of consciousness, your feelings. At the end, only feeling remains, and after that feeling, then Atma comes. So there is karma, body. There is jnana, mind. There is Atma, feeling. And because in the highest level only feeling remains, bhakti is considered to be superior than jnana. Jnana already ends when you are in deep sleep. There is no tarka or argument. But it is not enough. Sushupti is not fully Atma, it's only the beginning of the Atma. You have to awaken it. And we experience that as ruchi, asakti. And when bhava comes, then you'll see, when you look in the morning in the mirror, you don't see your physical body, you see the Atmic body, then you know, now I'm advancing. See? It is like that. So find the ways to have your notes ready and try to practice like this. You see? There's nobody who can take away this practice. Therefore, we have also a temple. You can come here anytime and practice. During the day, especially, the temple is empty. It's very peaceful here. Devotees in the morning chant their rounds and have seva during the day. So we have, this ISKCON society has created rooms and spaces where you can sit and chant and meditate. And now you know how to do. See, that's the thing. Philosophy we have heard a lot, but now we want to know how to do it. You see, and I'm trying to give you a handle, practical handle. No, not much Sanskrit, no Sanskrit difficulties. Just practically what you already experienced. Now you purify that and make it transcendental, and you are there. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Bol.